Good evening, sir.
Good evening again. Okay, so yesterday, if you see what we discussed something related to submarines, right? So different type of submarine, anti-submarine. We try to discuss something related to different kind of missiles, right? जोथिरे हमें कथा होतले सौर्य विषय कथा होतले सौर्य, right? सागरिका, which is nothing but a cruise as well as ballistic. It will behave both. Then we talked about different types of submarine. In different type of submarine, we try to talk about from the perspective of India having 16 out of 16. We are having six which are using diesel electric variants, but AIP, जोड़ा कि हमें गोटे project विषय रे कथा ହେଇଥିଲେ that project 75, and we are trying to talk about something called project 75I. तो project 75I अंडर रे हमें कौन कहते कि इंडिया ट्राई करूची आहुरी एडवांस टेक्नोलॉजी आनिया पे जोथरे कि फ्रांस और रशिया से माने बैकअप लाइक बैकआउट करी गले. Then we try to talk about INS Vishakhapatnam, and you remember we used to have two nuclear submarine, and the nuclear submarine रे हमर कौन कौन जोतला ना INS Arihant and INS Chakra. So the INS Chakra that is in lease from Russia. Then project 15A, 15B. So project 15A under that is co class na Kolkata class. 15B, what is the class of 15B? Anyone?
Sir, Visakhapatnam.
Vishakhapatnam. So that is a destroyer, correct? No, even we talk something related to that project 75 जो थे हमें Calvary class कोतले, right? Calvary class. Then there we are having six submarine which are using what? AIP module, correct? No, जो थे कि अमुक से snorkel वाला issue आसीबार नहीं. So today what we will see is we will try to again go forward. We will try to talk about project 17A. So the first thing is what is this 17A? Because we already know what is project. Project is nothing but a task. Then the number here it will try to define what they are trying to do. We already did project 75. We did project 75I. We did project 15A and project 15B. Under project 15B, we have Vishakhapatnam, then we have Marmagaon, we have Imphal and Surat. Correct? No, these are the one which we try to do for the destroyer. So the next one is related to frigates. Let's try to understand what is a frigate first. Okay. So we talked about destroyer. Destroyer. Any doubt about destroyer? Okay, so basically destroyer is nothing but INS Visakhapatnam जोटा हमें कहउतले fast maneuverable ताकू तमे को डायरेक्शन रे भी बहुत जल्दी नहीं जाई परिबो. Long endurance warship intended to escort large vessels in a fleet and defend them against power short range attackers. Most destroyers are named as guided missile system. तो सेतिरे ब्रह्मोस वगैरह था. Frigates is nothing but it is a very small ship owned by the navy that can move fast speeds. Frigates are often used to protect other ships. So basically ये जो frigate गुड़ा थांती से माने कोथि पे यूज करंदी ना other ship को protect करंदी. For example, if you will talk about, let's suppose there is something very important like इकोनॉमिक ट्रेड प्रैक्टिस चालुची जोटा कि हमर कोठी चलची. लेट्स सपोज सेटा रेड सी देकी जीवो. ओके, तो सेठी इश्यू तमे जानछो कि सोमालिया वाला यात्रा करंदी, राइट? सो जेहेतु सोमालियन इश्यू थाए तो सेठी वर्तमान हमकु लेट्स सपोज इट इज वेरी कॉन्फिडेंशियल, वेरी हाईली सिक्योरिटी ताको दवा पड़िबो. तो आमे कोन पठै परिबा? आमे फ्रिगेट पठै परिबा. इज दैट क्लियर? कहा द्वारा कंट्रोल ना नाभी द्वारा. So frigate will try to protect other ships. So under this project 17A, we are trying to develop these frigates. So the class is called Nilgiri class. So you will understand the class will be something related to name of like mountains range. Okay, Nilgiri, Sivalik, Udayagiri, Himagiri, Dunagiri, Mahendragiri. So there should not be any doubt, right? So Visakhapatnam and all those are related to destroyer. Visakhapatnam, Mormugao, Imphal, and Surat. When I am considering Nilgiri class, these are frigates. Those were approved by the Indian government in February 2015 to enhance the combat capabilities of Indian Navy. The program is followed by Project 17 Sivalik class frigates. So Project 17 जोड़ा थिला जो शिवालिक क्लास फ्रिगेट सेटा आमे यूज करूने आमे कोठु चलछे ना तार जो नेक्स्ट अपग्रेड वर्जन 17A जोटा कि तार स्टार्टिंग क्लास कोन थिला ना नीलगिरी क्लास फ्रिगेट. ओके, सो नीलगिरी क्लास vessels were updated version of British Lander class frigates. The project involved the development of 7 advanced guided missile frigates. So even जो फ्रिगेट ओडा अछि सेतिरे भी तमे कोन रखियो ना मिसाइल्स. सी मिसाइल्स related things we already discussed, like different kind of missiles, surface to surface जो थे हमें ballistic missile वगैरह कहथिले and cruise missile कथा कहथिले. Then we try to talk about from a perspective of आकाश Maitri, Prithvi, sorry, not Prithvi, Akash, Maitri, Trishul, and Barakate. Joda thila kona na surface to air. Then we talked from the perspective of air to surface. That is that Nag, right? Anti-tank missiles. So Nag gote Helena jota ko tame kohutula Dhruvastra. Any doubt on that part? So missile part is over. So whenever we are trying to use the missiles, so missiles like BrahMos, cruise missiles and all, we can launch them from surface, we can launch them from submarine or like sea areas, or we can launch from space like air also. Correct? No. That's why here if you see these frigates, they are also capable of having guided missiles. Guided means like we can try to navigate. Correct? No. And in case of navigation, we know which we have a better control. In case of cruise missile, we have a better control because throughout the journey we can navigate. But in case of ballistic, we have limited control because up to the maximum height we have the control. So here what how many we are trying to develop? 7. This is important. 17, you can remember 7 and here 7. So the out of which 4 will be built by Mazagaon dock shipbuilders and remaining 3 will be Garden Reach shipbuilders and engineers. These are not that much important, okay, but only the thing is we should know, okay, what is frigate and what is destroyer. The first major class of Indian design, stealth frigates. Stealth frigates, whenever there is something called stealth, that means difficult for the radar to catch it or difficult for the sonar. Basically here the sonar to ethi lagebo hi nahi because sonar to ame submarine pai lagai thante, correct? No, but eguda ship guda, right? So these are warships. So smaller warships than destroyer and are known for their maneuverability because they can very fast moving, right? Se mane move kari paribe jo ki radar re detection wa tike difficult. They are named on the name of INS Nilgiri, Nilgiri pore Udayagiri, then INS Taragiri, Himagiri, then we have Dunagiri and Vindhyagiri and Mahendragiri. So hope Nilgiri, Udayagiri, Himagiri, Vindhyagiri and Mahendragiri. These three are familiar, right? Only the thing is Taragiri
Yes,
and
sir.
Dunagiri. These two you should just also remember that there is something called Taragiri. But if you see, whenever I'm saying frigate, it is a perspective, like all the names will be from the perspective of mountains, right? Mountain range. Okay, so we talked about integrated guided missile development program जो थे हमें missile develop करूଥିଲେ से अग्नि नहीं जाओ ballistic missile रो जदि तमे पृथ्वी कथा को अग्नि कथा को then आकाश त्रिशूल ये सब हमें develop करूଥିଲେ कोथरे ना ballistic missile वगैरह IGM DP. Then we talked about project 75 diesel electric variant जो थे हमें कौन कले ना 6टा submarine को AIP technology द्वारा start कले. Then project 75I जोटा कि advanced AIP प्लस डीजल इलेक्ट्रिक वेरिएंट हम यूज करते बट समहाउ बैकअप हे गला कहार बैकअप ना रशिया और फ्रांस से बैकआउट करे प्रोजेक्ट 15 ए कोलकाता क्लास डिस्ट्रॉयर वी डिडंट टॉक मच because the project 15B is the most important Visakhapatnam जो थे मर्मोगांव इम्फाल सूरत আছে then project 17 that is a Shivali class frigate but 17A is the upgrade version of this which is Nilgiri class and Nilgiri रे एथिरे हमर कोन कोन आछि ना उदयगिरी आछि महेंद्रगिरी आछि हिमगिरी आसुची विंध्यागिरी then Taragiri
Taragiri.
and Dunagiri. Clear? These are the frigates, okay?
Yes, sir.
Frigates. So frigates will try to help other ships, like it will try to protect other ships. So they will feature improved stealth capabilities and the role stabilizations. Means in the rough surface कि समुद्र रे झड़ तूफान आसिला still सेथिरे भी because ସେମାନେ छोट अछन right still ସେମାନେ sustain କରି जिवे and they will have better or improved stealth capabilities. They have the capability to accommodate two medium size rotorcraft like helicopter. They can accommodate even two medium size helicopter such as Hal Dhruv or Sea King Mk-42 helicopters. So there are two other helicopter like in helicopter also we'll try to understand the helicopter like Chinook जोटा हमें RLV रे पढ़िଥିଲେ right space technology रे RLV ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ କହୁଥିଲେ demonstration होतला ସେତେବେଳେ ଗୋଟେ helicopter ଥିଲା called Chinook जोटा कि ଗୋଟେ space craft को नेकी 4 किलोमीटर ऊपर छाडिला then ताको खसा हला ଆମେ successful बोली कहिଥିଲେ. Those are related to helicopter we'll see at the end. So here you can remember that this frigate they can even capable to accommodate two helicopters. Barak 8 missile. What kind of missile it is? Surface to air, right? It is on that Akash, Trishul, Maitri, and Barak 8, right? So surface to air. So these barricade missiles can be fired from their vertical launch system that can launch multiple missiles simultaneously. Means there is a vertical launch mission. এটা ভাবিনা ତମର ship ରେ vertical launch mission ଅଛି ଯୋଉଥିରେ even ତମେ barricade କୁ ବି ଛାଡି ପାରିବ. Even you can also send BrahMos. That's what they mentioned. Even they can also be equipped with BrahMos supersonic cruise missiles. And we know what is subsonic, what is supersonic, and what is hypersonic. Is that clear?
जी सर.
Then coming to this INS Vikrant. So before going to Vikrant, let's suppose we should let understand what is aircraft carrier and what is cruiser. So aircraft carrier, an aircraft carrier is a warship. This is an warship that serves as a sea going air base. So generally ତମର ଯଦି କୋଉଠି ଗୋଟେ ଯୁଦ୍ଧ କରିବାର ଅଛି ତ ମୁଭି वगैरह ଦେଖିଥିବ ନା ସେମାନଙ୍କର ଗୋଟେ ଏୟାର ବେସ୍ ଥାଏ ତ ସେ ଏୟାର ବେସ୍ ରେ ସବୁ लाइक फाइटर जेट गुड़ा सब मौजूद थाए राइट देन हठात कोन गोटे साइरन बाजिबो देन समस्त रेडी हेकी सांग सांग बसी देन फ्लाइट उड़िया स्टार्ट कर देबे किंतु कथा हो जदी सी रे एमिति किछि गोटे हैला समुद्र भीतर एमिति किछि गोटे हैला या फिर हमको बहुत जल्दी उड़े नै जीवार अछि एंड अटैक करिवार अछि देन आम पाखरे एमिति किछि थिबा दरकार जोथरे की लाइक फाइटर जेट गुड़ा सेही समुद्र भीतर ही रहथुए तो ताकू किए कैरी करे ना एयरक्राफ्ट कैरियर. This is a sea-going airbase equipped with full-length flight deck, facilities for carrying, arming, deploying, and recovering aircraft. Typically, it is a capital ship of fleet, like a group of ships, as it allows naval force to project air power worldwide without depending on local bases staging aircraft operations. So you understood like why we require this. कि एठी हठात किना गोटे चाहिए एयरक्राफ्ट एयर जेट आसी से ओल्लै पारिबे से माने सेठू लॉन्च भी जाई माने लॉन्च भी करि पारिबे से माने सेठू उड़ीवा स्टार्ट कर दे पारिबे एंड लाइक वर्ल्ड रो कोठी भी को मूवमेंट रे चाहिए बहुत कम टाइम रे तमे फायरिंग कर दे पारिबो. इज दैट क्लियर?
जी
Okay,
सर.
this is what we call aircraft carrier. Then cruiser. So in case of cruiser, it is a type of warship. Modern cruiser are generally largest ships in a fleet after the aircraft carrier. After aircraft carrier, the next largest is called cruiser. Okay, after cruiser there will be destroyer, then frigate. Okay, so these are amphibious assault ships. Amphibious in the sense they can attack in sea, they can attack outside of the sea. Means पानी भीतर को भी अटैक कर दे पारंती से माने मिसाइल जोड़ा कि हमें देखि दिले ना एंटी सबमरीन वाला केस रे तो गोटे सबमरीन को मते किल करियार अछि देन गोटे बैलिस्टिक मिसाइल छाडिली देन से माने गोटे टॉर्पेडो होई कि से जाकी गोटे सबमरीन को किल कर दबो बट मते जदी एठु नै कि सरफेस को भी अटैक करियार अछि देन आई विल बिहेव एज एंड amphibious, right? This is amphibian, similar kind of amphibious assault ships, and can usually perform several roles. As 2021, only two countries operate cruisers: United States and Russia. And in both cases, the vessels are primarily armed with guided missile. Is that clear? So we understood what is aircraft carrier. We understood what is cruiser. Cruiser is something like see aircraft carrier that is related to कि तमे जो कहो कि aeroplane आने की not aeroplane basically fighter jet, right? Navy रो sorry air force रो fighter jet गुड़ा को तमे आने की कोठी रखिबो ना जो शिप गुड़ा थिबो सबटु बड़ शिप सेटा बिकॉज़ एटी गोटे तुमको रनवे दरकार राइट बिकॉज़ एटा आसी कि रहिबार अछि सो दैट इज व्हाई इट इज द बिगेस्ट वन तापरे ताठु छोटो होउची क्रूजर क्रूजर भीतर कोन अछि ना क्रूजर पाखरे तमेरे सेठी बहुत फास्ट से माने सी इट इज बिगर राइट बिगर इन द सेंस राडार रे तो डिटेक्ट हबो एमिति नो कि डिटेक्ट हबोनी दैट मींस आ पाखरे जो मैन्युवरेबिलिटी कैपेसिटी कि बहुत फास्ट मूविंग सेटा तो हबो ही नहीं किंतु हां ये एम्फीबियस असॉल्ट शिप को जाया को काहेकि बिकॉज़ ये अटैक करि परिबो सबमरीन को ये भी अटैक करि परिबो लैंड ऊपर करेक्ट नो लाइक फ्रॉम सी इट कैन अटैक it can launch any missiles like it can be BrahMos or it can be any Barakate, right? So those kind of things it can do. So we understood destroyer. It is a fast movable, like not as like as cruiser. It is little bit smaller in size, but it can try to destroy more and more. So fast, maneuverable, and it can try to defend against powerful short range attackers. Means जदि किछि गोटे आसुची ताल ताको डिफेंड करिया पई दैट मीन्स हमें कोन कहू जे ना सरफेस टू एयर इन द सेंस आमे किछि मिसाइल सरफेस टू एयर वाला छाडी की जदि किछि कोनोसी मिसाइल आसुची ताको आमे डिस्ट्रॉय करि परिबा कोथरो ना डिस्ट्रॉयर रो ताकि से समुद्र भीतर डिस्ट्रॉय हो स्थल भाग रे पडिबो भी नै एंड फ्रिगेट आर वेरी स्मॉल करेक्ट नो लाइक डिस्ट्रॉयर टू स्मॉल होची फ्रिगेट जोड़ा की सपोर्ट करे काहा को ना जो नावल शिप गोड़ा अछि ताको अलगा शिप गोड़ा को प्रोटेक्ट करिया पे फ्रिगेट यूज हुए देन वी विल टॉक अबाउट कॉर्वेट सो लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड आईएनएस विक्रांत फर्स्ट ओके So India's indigenous aircraft carrier. Now you understood what is aircraft carrier, right? So in future you should not consider that INS Vikrant is of type INS Visakhapatnam. INS Visakhapatnam रो ये part होगा कि कहीं क्या बनी? Because INS Visakhapatnam is a part of destroyer, correct?
Yes, sir.
But this INS Vikrant is part of what? Aircraft carrier, correct? No. So this commissioned in September 2022. It is designed by Navy's Warship Design Bureau, built in the public sector, Kochi Shipyard Limited. Kochi रे बना हला. At the present, India has only one aircraft carrier, that is INS Vikramaditya, which was commissioned in 2013 and was built on Russian platform. Defense Force were seeking three carriers in all. So, if you see, गोटे indigenous आमे बनेले, that is right, INS Vikrant. ता पूर्वरु आमे पाखरे कोन थिला ना INS Vikramaditya, which was built by Russian platform and commissioned in, means it was in duty since when 2013. But defense forces, they were seeking how many? They want three. So one in spare beside one in each Indian Ocean, as well as one will be in Bay of Bengal. That means one will be in Indian Ocean, the other one will be in Bay of Bengal, and one will be in spare. Spare in the sense से रखा ହେଇଥିବ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଦରକାର ପଡିବ ସେ ତାର ୟୁଜ ହବ. Similarly, we talked about no submarines related. जो 16ଟା थिला submarine, ସେଥିରୁ ଆମେ କେତେଟା submarine को utilize କରୁଛେ at a time? Basically 8ଟା. Half of the submarine will be in commission, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So similarly, here we are having INS Vikrant, INS Vikramaditya, and India want three. One will be in Bay of Bengal, one will be in Indian Ocean, and one will be in spare. Hope it is clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then next, let's understand what is the corvettes. Okay. A corvette is a small, means frigate to be very small. Warship, again, it is considered to be a ship. Okay. It is traditionally the smallest class of vessels considered to be a proper warship. A corvette is typically between from 500 tons to 2000 tons, although recent designs may approach for 3000 tons, which might instead be a consider a small frigate. The modern type of ship below a corvette are coastal patrol craft, missile boats, and fast attack craft. But we cannot say those are ship. So the smallest ship warship is known as what? Corvette. Is that clear? Smallest warship is known as corvette. Frigate रे तमे दीटा ये होल्ड करि परिबो, दीटा अकोमोडेट करि परिबो, दीटा हेलीकॉप्टर को, right? No. So corvette is something called which is the smallest warship, basically the traditionally smallest warship. ता तळकु जदी कोनोसी भी like warship भलिया तमु देखाला, those cannot be considered as ship, those are considered to be boats. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Then we talked about something called submarine. A submarine is a watercraft capable of independent operation underwater. Submarine are referred to as boats rather than ships, irrespective of their size. से size केते भी हो, but ताको हमें ship तो कहवानी, ताको हमें कौन कहूचे? Boat. Amphibious assault ships. An amphibious assault ship is a type of amphibious warfare ship employed to land and support ground force on enemy territory by amphibious assault. This is again amphibious assault ships. This is a bit like bigger than what we call as frigate, right? This is not a boat. So the smallest ship, what is the name of that smallest ship warship? Corvette. Clear? Any doubt?
सर
Submarine
अगेन
part is over.
सर अगेन जो कार्वेट कर ले बस वही थोड़ा सा ही.
The corvette is simple. Corvette is like it is also a warship, but it is the smallest ship in its segment. Basically, जो different type of warship अछि, तो warship रो first जदि आमे देखिले, ताहले गोटे आमे देखिले aircraft carrier. तो एथिरे कोनोसी युद्ध करा होनी. Aircraft carrier जोटा कि आमे कहूजे INS विक्रांत या फिर INS विक्रमादित्य, राइट? एथिरे आमे कोनोसी युद्ध करूजे कि युद्ध करू. एथिरे आमे केवल फाइटर जेट आणु, जेट गुडा को आनी कि सपोर्ट दोजे, प्लेटफॉर्म दोजे ताकि फाइटर जेट सेठु उड़ी परिबे एंड फाइटर जेट आसी सेठु रहि परिबे. दिस इज रिलेटेड टू एयरक्राफ्ट कैरियर. देन वी टॉक्ड अबाउट क्रूजर, व्हिच स्टार्टेड लाइक दिस इज द फर्स्ट वारशिप in the segment, and this is a bigger one, and this is amphibious also, like it can attack on the land, also it can attack on the same, like on in ocean. Okay, then the next one is related to destroyer, and under destroyer we try to understand INS Vishakhapatnam class. Okay, and INS Visakhapatnam, then Mormugao, then Imphal, then Surat. These are related to destroyer. After destroyer, there are frigates. So frigate are in small in size. They can easily go for maneuverability. Correct? No, because they can easily go for maneuverability. So they can very fast moving. Maneuverability in the sense fast moving. So because they are very fast moving, it is difficult for them to track through the radar. So in that we try to talk about Nilgiri class. Correct? No, Nilgiri class frigate, Sivalik class frigate.
जी
Then
सर.
we talked about Mahendragiri, Himagiri, Dunagiri, then Taragiri, and
तारागिरी.
Vindhyagiri. So these are all related to frigates. After frigates, we are talking about corvettes. So frigate to ahuri jodi choto mu jodi dekhibi, those are called corvettes. Those are also the warships. Then we talked about submarines and we talked about something called amphibious warships. Basically, amphibious warship is something like cruiser is also considered to be amphibious warship. So anything bigger than the destroyer or frigate that is that which can attack both in land as well as in the water. That is what we call amphibious landship. Is that clear?
जी सर.
Okay. So our next concept will start with anti-ballistic defense. Now we are going to do a defense. Till now, whatever we are going to attack. All were related to attack. Missile ଆମେ ରଖୁଥିଲେ attack କରୁଥିଲେ. Surface to air. That surface to air वाला जो कथा कहूଥିଲେ त्रिशूल ହେଇଗଲା, आकाश ହେଇଗଲା, मैत्री ହେଇଗଲା, बाराकेट ହେଇଗଲା, right? Those are like surface to air. There we are trying to defend. Correct? No? Defend in the sense କିଛି ଗୋଟେ ଆସୁଛି, then ତମେ କିଛି ଗୋଟେ ଛାଡିଲ surface ରୁ ଯାଇକି ସେଟା hit କରିଦେଲା. And କୋଉଠି hit କଲା? ଆକାଶରେ hit କଲା. Then ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ବହୁତ important କଣ ଆମକୁ ଜାଣିବାକୁ ପଡିବ ଆକାଶର କୋଉ range ରେ hit କଲା. For example, ଗୋଟେ ମିସାଇଲ ଆସୁଛି ଯୋଉଟା କି ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ पृथ्वी पृष्ठରୁ 3 किलोमीटर ଉପରେ ଅଛି ତମେ ଟ୍ରାଏ କଲ 3 किलोमीटर ଉପରକୁ ହିଟ୍ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ସପୋଜ ବାଜିଲାନି टार्गेट रे हिट हेई ही पारलानी देन कोन हबो से पुनी तळକୁ आसीबो देन तम पाखरे डिफरेंट डिफरेंट लेयर लेट्स सपोज दिस इज अर्थ राइट एंड बर्तन मिसाइल टा एठी अछि देन तमे ट्राई करछ अटैक करिया पे बट समहाउ यू मिस्ड इट देन ए मिसाइल टा बर्तन कोठी पळे आसीबो ए पाखको देन तम पाखरे आउ गोटे प्रकार मिसाइल थिबा दरकार जोटा कि बर्तन से आउ टिके रेंज तळु के गला एठी 3 किलोमीटर थिला एठी 2 किलोमीटर तो 2 किलोमीटर रे हिट करिया भालिया भी तम पाखरे मिसाइल रेडी हेकी थिबा दरकार अगेन भाबिनो मिस हे गला टारगेट अगेन पाखको आसीला देन see you understood right we need a different layer of defend is that clear
Yes sir.
because को मोमेंट रे भी तमरो जो मिसाइल को तमे टारगेट करछो सेटा मिस ही जाई पारे जोथि भाई हमको डिफरेंट लेयर दरकार सो विल ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम दैट पर्सपेक्टिव ओके सो anti ballistic missile surface to air so we are having defense missiles so we are having the first defense missile that we are trying to understand is prithvi air defense missile that also we name as pad prithvi air defense missile. If I will tell what is Prithvi 1, 2, 3, those are what missiles, ballistic missiles? Correct? No, but those are surface to surface ballistic missiles. Am I right?
Yes sir.
Okay. But here, what I'm saying is this pad Prithvi air defense missile, this is surface to air. Earlier Prithvi 1, 2, 3, those are missiles, those are surface to surface. But here we are saying Prithvi air defense missile means air defense karibo. That means surface to air. Then we have advanced air defense missile that is called AAD. Then Prithvi air defense vehicle that is called pad vehicle. So Prithvi air defense that is having a range of 3000 kilometer and it is called exo atmosphere because till 80 kilometer let's suppose we are considering this is the height atmosphere ता ऊपर को जदी पळेला 80 किलोमीटर ऊपर मते जदी डिफेंस करिवार अछि ताहले मु कहबी एक्सो दिस इज outside of our atmosphere means before the missile entering let's suppose this is earth ro 80 किलोमीटर जाय मु कहू let's suppose this is considered to be earth atmosphere 80 किलोमीटर सेपटे जदी गोटे मिसाइल आसी जोटा कि वर्तमान 100 किलोमीटर रे अछि एंड मु गोटे पैड द्वारा ताको ट्राई करछि हिट करिया पे 100 किलोमीटर रे बिकॉज आर रेंज केते 3000 किलोमीटर जाय ये चाहिले डिस्ट्रॉय कर दे परियो दैट मींस मते कुह थ्रू पैड कैन आई ट्राई टू डिस्ट्रॉय ए सैटेलाइट
No sir.
सैटेलाइट आई कैन डू ए डिस्ट्रॉय राइट सी सैटेलाइट गोडा जदी मु कहबी लो अर्थ ऑर्बिट रे से माने केते किलोमीटर बोलचंदी 540 200 300 400 ए भलिया किलोमीटर करेक्ट नो सन सिंक्रोनस ऑर्बिट am I right see up to मोर 3000 जाए मोर 3000 किलोमीटर जाए डिस्ट्रॉइंग कैपेबिलिटी अछि पृथ्वी एयर डिफेंस मिसाइल रो सो दिस I told no, we require what? Protection at different layer. So through pad also I can ଦରକାର because ଯେତେବେଳେ ତମେ ଗୋଟେ ଗ୍ରେଟର ଏରିଆକୁ ଡେଷ୍ଟ୍ରୟ କରିବ, ଫର ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ ବାଲିଷ୍ଟିକ ମିସାଇଲ କଥା ଯେତେବେଳେ କହିବ, ତମେ କହୁଛ କି 2.5 ଟନ୍ 2500 କେଜି ର ତମକୁ ତା ପାଖରେ ଥିବା ଦରକାର କଣ ନା ପେଲୋଡ। ତ ସେ ପେଲୋଡ ରେ କଣ ହବ ନା ଭାବିନିଅ ଏତେ ମାତ୍ରାରେ ତମେ ୱାरहेଡ ରେ ରଖିଥିବ ତାକୁ କଣ କୁହନ୍ତି ଏକ୍ସପ୍ଲୋଜନ, ରାଇଟ, ଯୋଉଟା କି ଗୋଟେ ବିରାଟ ସିଟିକୁ ହିଁ ଡେଷ୍ଟ୍ରୟ କରିଦବ। ବଟ୍ ଏଠି ଆମେ କୌଣସି ସିଟି ବଗେରା ଡେଷ୍ଟ୍ରୟ କରିବାର ନାହିଁ, ବିକଜ ଆମ ପାଖରେ ସଫିସିଏଣ୍ଟ ଆମାଉଣ୍ଟ ର କାଇନେଟିକ ଏନର୍ଜି ଥିବ, ଯୋଉ କାଇନେଟିକ ଏନର୍ଜି ଯାଇକି ଜଷ୍ଟ ଯୋଉଟା ଆସୁଥିବ ତାକୁ ହିଁ ହିଟ୍ କରିଦବ, ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଟୁ ଏୟାର ରେ। ଦେନ୍ ଆମକୁ ବେଶୀ ଏକ୍ସପ୍ଲୋସିଭ ମ୍ୟାଟେରିଆଲ ଦରକାର ବି ନାହିଁ। So this is related to pad. Now coming to the next range, so because we require protection at different layer, okay, suppose, am I audible?
जी सर, बट किंतु
Am I
थोड़ा
audible?
थोड़ा सर। जी सर, बट किंतु थोड़ा थोड़ा वॉइस ब्रेक हो रहा है सर।
So let me reconnect. Is my screen visible?
नो सर।
Give me some time. Let me change my internet connection.
ओके सर।
Hope I am audible now, right?
जी सर।
Okay. So I was talking about different layer of protection we require. So one is pad. Then if we do further down, let's suppose atmosphere को पळे आसला 100 किलोमीटर रेंज रे आमे ताको हिट करि पारलेनी एंड से पळे आसला 80 किलोमीटर भीतर को, दैट मींस इट इज कॉल्ड एंडो एटमॉस्फेरिक। एंड व्हाट इज द रेंज, लेट्स सपोज 30 किलोमीटर रे आमे हिट करूचे, देन दैट इज कॉल्ड एंडो एटमॉस्फेरिक। बट द रेंज ऑफ दिस एएडी एडवांस्ड एयर डिफेंस मिसाइल इज अप टू 200 किलोमीटर। Then Prithvi air defense vehicle 2000 to 3000 kilometer, that means exo atmospheric at more than 120 kilometer altitude. Jodi more than 120 kilometer altitude tama कहूଛ, like more than 80 also you are considering to be as exo atmospheric, and here the weight is 10 kg. So India's ballistic missile defense, that is what called BMD, ballistic missile defense, means for defense you are using some missile and that missile is a ballistic missile, and you know what is ballistic missile and what is cruise missile, correct? No, तो मते तमे को डिफेंस पई बर्तन तमे क्रूज मिसाइल यूज करि परिबो कि करि परिबो?
नो
कैन आई
सर।
can I write BCD, like no sorry, CMD, cruise missile defense? Can I have? Answer will be no. Why? Because cruise missile Am I audible? I'm seeing some continuously issue with my internet.
सर वॉइस आ रही है बट मतलब स्क्रीन नहीं है.
Actually, I used to connect from both of my device. One will be from laptop to understand like my screen is visible, and one is from my iPad. So now my iPad is now disconnected. I'm just trying to connect and share the screen. Let me share. But both of them are connected to same internet network, but iPad is not connecting. Let me try again. Give me a second, or else we'll stop here. Okay, what I was saying is, if this internet connection issue will be further again, then we'll stop the class here. Okay. So I was telling BMD and CMD. Can we have CMD? No. Why no? Because the CMD, it will travel like this, correct? No, it will go parallel to the surface, very close proximity. That's what we told. No, like sea skimming or like land hogging. Those are the concept for the cruise missiles. Is that clear? But we want what? We want to heat the like defense. Basically, in defense, we want to heat a incoming missile in the air. The air ହେଲେ ତ ମତେ ballistic ଭଳିଆ projectory motion ଦବାକୁ ପଡିବ, right? ଗୋଟେ trajectory ଗୋଟେ ଯିବ ଯୋଉଟା କି parabola type ର, ଯୋଉଥିରେ କି ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ ballistic missile use କରିବି. Is that clear?
Yes sir.
Okay. So here, if you see, this is announced ready to deployment at January 2020. It consists of PAD, Prithvi Air Defense, missile to intercept incoming missile in the exo-atmosphere. So we have the first layer of protection, that is through the PAD in the exo-atmosphere. Then we have AAD, that is missile in the endo-atmosphere. So if you see, proposed multi-layered missile shield for NCT of Delhi. So the first layer is related to outermost BMD, ballistic missile defense layer, right? So it is a two-tier indigenous system of AAD and PAD interceptor missiles designed to track and destroy ballistic missile both inside, like inside the atmosphere, less than 80 kilometer, जो 30 kilometer approx, or outside exo-atmosphere, which is around greater than 80 kilometer. Phase 1, interceptor missile with 4.5 max speed, meant 2000 kilometer range enemy missiles system almost ready. Enemy missile system जोटा कि 4.5 max speed रो 2000 km range आम पाखरे ऑलरेडी अछि, ताको enemy missile को हमें destroy करि परिबा. Phase 2, interceptor missiles with 6.7, that means we are trying to develop a hypersonic, because see गोटे missile आसुची देन तमे तो कहबोनी कि मु आको subsonic speed रे छाड़ीबी. सबसोनिक वाला तमे डेवलप करियो कि बहुत स्लो स्लो जो पूरा झुली चली कि देन जणा पडला कि मिसाइल पड़ी गला नि तमर जाय के सेठी पहुंचुची. तो हमको दरकार वेरी हाई स्पीड, एंड आमे जिबा कोथरे ना हाइपरसोनिक, जदि हाइपरसोनिक डेवलप करि परने एटलीस्ट सुपरसोनिक. So if you see 4.5 supersonic, 6 to 7, that is the phase 2 that we are trying to develop for hypersonic interceptor missile. Is that clear? Okay. Then S-400 layer, Russian trim surface to air missile, that is S-400, which was in news. Now you should be very clear what is this S-400 we are talking about. This was having a 5.43 billion, means around 40,000 crore deal in October 2018. These missiles with interception range of 120, 200, 250, 380 kilometer. Means if you see the intersection range of this S-400 layer, right, means ये ट्राई करिवो मिसाइल को हिट करिया पई जो इनकमिंग मिसाइल को इनिशियली 380 किलोमीटर रे, देन 250 रे करि परिबो, देन 200 रे करि परिबो, 120 किलोमीटर रे करि परिबो. This delivered of 5 squadron from October 2020 to April 2023. Then Barak 8 layer. So we are trying to talk about multi-sealed. Okay. So we try to understand BMD layer, which will have PAD and AAD. So PAD will be exo-atmospheric and AAD will be endo-atmospheric. And for that, what we developed? We developed one is related to interceptor missile, that is having 4.5 Mach speed, and we are trying for a hypersonic interceptor missiles which can travel at a speed of 6 to 7 Mach. Is that clear? Then we understand that we also imported one S-400 layer which have a capability like 120 kilometer, 200 250 380 किलोमीटर रे से ट्राई करि परिबो इनकमिंग मिसाइल को डिस्ट्रॉय करबा कैपेबिलिटी ता पाखरे अछि। बाराक 8 इट इज अगेन इट इज अ सीरीज ऑफ व्हाट त्रिशूल आकाश मैत्री बाराक 8 राइट सरफेस टू एयर. So this is a medium long range surface to air missile system jointly developed by Israel Aerospace Industries and DRDO. This interception range is 70 to 80. It can have endo or it can be exo. Correct, no? So systems being delivered to Navy. Initial cost were around 2,600, but these are not of our point of view to understand. Here we understand that okay, we have even Barak 8 layer, which is also behaving as a defense layer. Okay, then we have Akash layer, and you know already what is Akash? Surface to air, right? Because I told Akash, Trishul, correct? So indigenous air defense missile system range hochi 25 kilometer. This Indian Air Force introducing 415 squadron of Akash 1 and 2 system for 10,900 crore. Army has introduced two regiment for rupees 14,180 crore. Two Akash, two regiment on the way. Basically, in case of groups, right? So in case of Air Force, we call it as squadron. In case of Army, we call it as a regiment. Okay. So this Akash layer, which is a defense missile, right? Defense. It will be used in defense. They are delivered to Navy as well as they are delivered to Air Force as well as Army. Then NASAM's layer. This is related to US. Okay. So quick reaction network system of Stringer, GON systems and AMRAM missiles. Deal for almost 1 billion finalized with US. We'll try to understand what exactly is this NASAMS layer. Okay. So they are geared to track and destroy small incoming targets shoot around buildings. कि जो पाखापाखि जदि छोट छोट किसी इनकमिंग मिसाइल टार्गेट अच्छी ताकू हिट करके डिस्ट्रॉय करियार कैपेबिलिटी का पाखरे अछि ना नासाम्स जोटा कि यूएसए सहित S-400 रशिया then NASAMS also related to kahara na US. We will also understand there are something called third जोटा कि थिला kahara ना यूएसए रो and called Patriot. जोथिपाई कि यूएसए इंडिया ऊपर कहला हमें सैंक्शन लगेबो तमे काहे कि केवल रशिया ठु नबा को चाहछ तमे आमठु भी किछि जिंस खरीद किंतु कथा होची S-400 ले माने ता जदी ता सहित कंपेयर हमें करबा एमानकर कैपेबिलिटी सेते नाही जति कि S-400 रो अछि. Let's talk about S-400. So S-400, this is a triumph of Russia's air defense missile system. India signed a deal of 5.43 billion USD with Russia for procuring 5 squadron of S-400. Trump administrations had threatened India with CATSA sanctions. Okay, what is CATSA? Basically, countering America's adversaries through Sanctions Act 2017. Who is America's adversary? Basically, Russia. So, जदि रशिया अमेरिकार adversaries होची जदि ताठु तमे किछि जिंस procurement करूछ then this is like a sanction to India which was from Trump. S-400, it is a long range surface to air missile system. Very important. You should very importantly understand this. This is a surface to air missile system. This is not only a missile intended to act as a shield over a particular area. गोटे area ऊपर से shield हेकी अछि पूरा एकदम. किसी भी मिसाइल आसिले through S-400 we can try to destroy that incoming missile. It is considered to be one of the most advanced and potent air defense system. This is very important. Air defense system. We are not going to attack through S-400. Rather than we are trying to do what? Defense. In the world, it has capability to protect against almost all sorts of aerial attacks, including drone रे तमे अटैक करो चाहे मिसाइल रे अटैक करो रॉकेट रे अटैक करो इवन फाइटर जेट रे अटैक करो को भी टाइप रो तमे जदी अटैक करबो ताहले ताकू किए कैपेबल अछि ताकू डिस्ट्रॉय करबारो S-400. But if you will try to understand from the perspective of S-400 to I will try to talk about third, I will try to talk about Patriot, they are not capable of destroying all sorts of incoming attacks, right? Here, S-400, it can destroy drones, missiles, rockets, even fighter jets. So it comes with a capability of tracking radars and airborne threats. So it has already having some capability like radar tracking, radar को through रे track करके ये जानी परिवो coordinates वगैरह and से इथरे जाई कि S-400 रो मिसाइल जो थी वो guided missile से मान सेठी destroy कर दे परिवे. It can even target enemy fighter jet, cruise missiles from a distance of almost 400 kilometers. That's why its name is something like S-400. 400 kilometer distance to be jodi enemy ro gote fighter jet. See, when they can use cruise missile, cruise missile they will only use when they will have the fighter jet, correct? No, like जदि मु कहबी कि cruise missile ताको करियर अछि air to surface, तो सेटा केतळे हबो जेतळे पूरा क्लोज प्रोक्सिमिटी, लेट सपोज दिस इज गोटे एठी गोटे पहाड़ अछि, देन एठी गोटे तांकर फाइटर जेट टे आसिला, देन एथि गोटे मिसाइल टे थिला क्रूज मिसाइल, से पूरा आसी पूरा पाखरे ही जीवो, करेक्ट? नो, सो जदि 400 किलोमीटर डिस्टेंस रे गोटे क्रूज मिसाइल भी अछि ताहाले भी ताको डिस्ट्रॉय करियार कैपेबिलिटी अछि का पाखरे ना S400। सो इट कैन असेंबल इन वेरी शॉर्ट टाइम, बहुत कम टाइम रे असेंबल कर परिबो, एंड मियर 5 मिनिट्स, एंड कैन बी फायर्ड फ्रॉम एनी टेरेन, कोठु भी तमे ताको चाहिले फायर कर दे परिबो, लॉन्च कर दे परिबो बहुत कम टाइम रे, ऑलमोस्ट अराउंड 5 मिनिट भीतर तमे ट्राई चाहिले destroy करिया पे कैपेबिलिटी तार अछि। इट इज हार्ड टू डिटेक्ट एंड डिस्ट्रॉय S400 as they are very mobile, तांकू बहुत जल्दी तमे गोटे जगह आ गोटे जगह को नै जाई परिबो, तेनु बिकॉज़ 5 मिनिट भीतर जदि तमे असेंबल कर दे पारो, दैट मींस तमे बहुत जल्दी जदि तमु जणा पड़ले गोटे मिसाइल आसी ताको तुरंत तमे शिफ्ट कर नै परिबो। सो इट इज वेरी हार्ड टू डिटेक्ट कि S400 कोडे अछि, एंड ताको डिस्ट्रॉय करिया पे भी बहुत कष्ट। So in UPSC 2021, if you see, there was a question related how this S400 air defense system is technically superior to any other system potentially available in the world. So yeah, if you see 2018 रे procurement hela, but Trump administration threatened, I think this was around 2020 or 2019 something, okay? So ସେଥିପାଇଁ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ହେଲା କଣ 2021 ରେ ଯଦି ଦେଖିବ क्वेश्चन पळै आसला कि S400 आउ वर्ल्ड रो जो अदर अच्छे लाइक पोटेंशियल डिफेंस मिसाइल सिस्टम ता भितरे केमिति S400 सुपेरियर। सी दिस इज ए क्वेश्चन ऑफ कंपैरेटिव एनालिसिस, एठी जदी तमे कहबो कि व्हाट इज S400 यू विल गेट 0 मार्क। इज दैट क्लियर? Because the question is very clear, right? How is S400? Because I already told ki in mains you, the first thing that you need to understand is if you are able to understand the question and what they are asking, half of the marks you will definitely get. So the question is how is S400 air defense system is technically superior to any other system potentially available in the world. If you try to read from the behind, from the backward, right? पोटेंशियली अवेलेबल इन द वर्ल्ड रे जेतिकी प्रकार रो पोटेंशियल अछि मिसाइल डिफेंस मिसाइल गाइडेड सिस्टम रो, ताठू हाउ this S400 defense system is technically superior. So we are going to talk about technically superiority of S400 in comparison to world ro other जो अछि. Is that clear? आइठी मु कहबिनी कि S400 सी बर्तन जदि तमे टिके जानथियो खाली S400 एंड थर्ड विषय जानि न, एंड तमे मु कहबी कि लाइक पैट्रियट विषय जानि न, देन कंपैरिजन पई तम पाखरे किछि ही नाही। तमे कोन लिखिबो देखो S400 एटा भलो थिला सेटा भलो थिला, ये एटा अटैक कर दबो सेटा अटैक कर दो, सेगुडा तो तमे S400 रो डिस्क्रिप्शन देलो, बुझी हो जे ना। देन एठी तमु डिस्क्रिप्शन दबार कोन अछि, डिस्क्रिप्शन न दे कि तमु एठी कंपैरिजन करियर अछि कि S400 कोन कोन अटैक कर दे पारे, जेमति कि हमें कहले ड्रोन वगैरह हला, फाइटर जेट को अटैक कर दबो, बैलिस्टिक मिसाइल हो, क्रूज मिसाइल हो, 400 किलोमीटर दूर रे थिले अटैक कर दबो। अलगा जदि मु कहबी थर्ड केस रे, सो थर्ड रो केते किलोमीटर कैपेबिलिटी अछि एंड ये कोन कोन अटैक करिक डिस्ट्रॉय करि परियो, बुझी हो जे ना। दिस इज हाउ यू आर गोइंग टू डू ए टेक्निकल कंपैरिजन। इज दैट क्लियर? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So if you see comparison with third THAAD, that is related to terminal high altitude area defense, and this is related to whom? US. So has a single layer of defense, but if you talk about S400, it has a multi layer of defense. 120, 200, 250, 380 kilometer, correct? No, and has the capability to intercept and destroy short, medium and intermediate range ballistic missiles at a range of 200 kilometer, but here it has a range of 400 kilometer and altitude up to 150, but there it is like 400 kilometer. It is one dimensional missile system and it can fire only one type of missiles and cannot intercept a fighter jet, जो कि S400 गोटे फाइटर जेट को भी इंटरसेप्ट करके ताकू डिस्ट्रॉय कर दे परिबो, बट थर्ड करि परिबो नहीं। Then coming to Patriot advanced capability, that is called PAC-3, Patriot advanced capability. Again, this is related to USA. On the other hand, US's Patriot PAC-3 has the ability to intercept aerial targets at a range of 180 km only. It has the capability of launching ballistic missile up to a range of 100 km. So S400 can simultaneously track up to 160 objects. जदि आकाश रे 160 टा ऑब्जेक्ट आसुची एंड इन ए रेंज ऑफ 600 किलोमीटर दूर रु S400, बिकॉज आ पाखरे राडार अछि, राइट? जेहेतु राडार टेक्नोलॉजी अछि, ये 600 किलोमीटर दूर रु 160 टा ऑब्जेक्ट को जदि आइडेंटिफाई कला, टार्गेट करि परिबो 72 टा ऑब्जेक्ट एंड टार्गेट रो रेंज 400 किलोमीटर भितर जेतले 160 600 किलोमीटर भाबिनो कि से 160 टा ऑब्जेक्ट को आइडेंटिफाई कर देला ठीक अछि जदि आइडेंटिफाई कर देला ट्रैक करनेला 160 टा ऑब्जेक्ट जदि से 400 किलोमीटर रेंज भितर को पळे आसिले एटलीस्ट ये 72 टा ऑब्जेक्ट को टार्गेट कर दे परिबो व्हाइल फॉर द पैट्रियट दे कैन टार्गेट 36 आउट ऑफ 125 जदि 125 को आइडेंटिफाई कले टार्गेट केतेटा करि पारुची 36 टा बुझियो ना बुझियो
36.
so
Yes,
S400
sir.
can shoot down targets moving at a speed of 17 km per hour while Patriot could only shoot down a target moving at 8 km per hour that means जदि केही गोटे बहुत फास्ट मूविंग करतो ताल ताकू पैट्रियट destroy न करि पारे S400 can deployed within 5 minutes compared to 25 minutes for Patriot so it is cheaper too for whom so this should not be in the technical one okay so but here economically if you will try to understand S400 is cheaper with an estimated per battery cost approximately $500 $500 million compared to Patriot's 1 billion and third is 3 billion is that clear
Yes, sir.
okay so if the question is what is terminal high altitude area defense third sometimes seen in the news is Israel radar system no because Barak 8 आमे कहतले इजराइल सहित इंडिया रो डीआरडीओ मिसी की Barak 8 बनै दिले बट इजराइल रो radar system तो ये नुहो इंडिया रो इंडिजिनियस एंटी मिसाइल प्रोग्राम व्हाट इज एंटी मिसाइल प्रोग्राम कि गोटे मिसाइल को तमे डिस्ट्रॉय करियो एंटी मींस व्हाट यू आर ट्राइंग टू kill what you are trying to kill a missile yes this is true but they are mentioning India indigenous third to India no is that clear so India kono pad
Yes,
correct no prithvi air defense system correct this is pad that is related to Indian American anti missile system true a defense collaboration between Japan and South Korea no this is related to completely USA is that clear
yes, sir.
okay. So, though the USA was also mounting pressure in India to also consider its third and PAC-3 missile defense system, New Delhi went ahead to ink deal with Russia for 5 squadron of advanced S-400. India also had plans to acquire integrated air defense weapon system that is called IADWS, integrated air defense weapon system, or the National Advanced Surface to Air Missile System 2, which is called NASMAS 2 from USA, to use in the innermost layer of multi-layered missile shield over the NCT of Delhi. But later, it decided to instead use indigenously but built ballistic missile defense system. So if you see now NCT Delhi, why we have to protect because first of the national capital territory of Delhi. तो ये होची कैपिटल टेरिटरी आ ऊपर अटैक होवार चांसेस बहुत अधिक एकरे तो प्रोक्सिमिटी कहार पाखरे ना एकरे पाकिस्तान लाहौर सेपटे होची चाइना तेणु आ ऊपर अटैक हो आ सेठी बहुत सारा कॉन्फिडेंशियल फाइल भी अछि जोगुडा के डिस्ट्रॉय जाय पारे तेणु ताकू प्रोटेक्ट करिया पई आम पाखरे ताकू कोन कोन लेयर अछि ना आम पाखरे S400 अछि करेक्ट नो आम पाखरे पीएडी रेडी हेक अछि देन आम पाखरे एएडी अछि देन बाराक 8 वाला लेयर अछि देन आकाश वाला लेयर अछि यू अंडरस्टूड राइट
Yes, sir.
तो आमे भाबुथिले कि आईएडीडब्ल्यूएस एनएएस करेक्ट नेशनल एडवांस सरफेस टू एयर मिसाइल सिस्टम तो याकू यूज करिया पे बट अल्टीमेटली सेठिरु भी आमे बैकअप नै गले एंड आमे कहले कि नाही आमे निजरो इंडिजिनियसली डेवलप बैलिस्टिक मिसाइल डिफेंस सिस्टम ही रखिबो इज दैट क्लियर सो द नेक्स्ट टॉपिक विल
Yes,
बी
sir.
unmanned aerial vehicle that will be related to drone okay so we'll discuss tomorrow drone related technology so what we discuss today is it is related till now in day before yesterday like the last two discussions it was related what is missiles how what are the different kind of missiles like ballistic missiles cruise missiles then what are the names then we try to understand what are the submarines ki submarine nu kemti attack hochi then today our all discussions was related to how to protect our country from missile attack so from missile attack what we have that is related to surface to air missiles right so surface to air defense missiles these what we try to understand pad aad we try to understand something related to patriot third S400 right so in future so this is done Then we will try to understand what is a drone, then helicopter wala and fighter jet. This will conclude the defense technology. Hope it is clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Chalo, thank you everyone.
Thank you, sir.